Yes. Okay, now we're recording. It's all documented, Daniel. Watch your mouth, all right? Jennifer, don't pick your nose.
All right.
All right. All right, so we're gonna brighten up this world a little bit because once again, everything is dark and glum and terrible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create some fun little lights because I went to Home Depot the other day. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna decorate my room. And I was like, yeah, I want some lights. And I got there and they're like, cool, they're over there on the wall. And I walked over and I was like, sweet, where's the colored ones? And they're like, oh, we don't have colored ones. And I was like, what do you mean you have colored ones? Everybody has colored ones. Why would you gotta have colored ones? And they're like, no, we don't have colored ones. And I was like, well, that's lame. So we are going to solve the problem by creating some fun little covers that will go over our light. And cool part is we're going to hang them in all our little windows over there. And we're going to make like a little holiday display. And then like people drive by and they'll be like, whoa, look at Greeley Central. And then you can come over with your family and you'd be like, mommy, there's mine. That's the one I made. And she'll be like, oh, Daniel, you're the greatest designer in the world, honey. Yours are better than everybody else's, sweeties. Yours are the prettiest ones, I think, because that's how mommies are, right? Right. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this part right here, this is a no-brainer. You guys could do this in your sleep. I'm not worried about it. A 3-year-old could design that. The tricky part is this side right here. Now, what we want to do is we want to create some sort of device that will hold the light bulb in the cover. So when it's upside down, it doesn't just fall off. And it has to fit nicely. So like this is my little prototype. And I made it so it's just like almost the right size, but it's got this little nubby thing on there. So I can like and weasel it in there, but that ain't cool. And we're better designers than that. So we're going to design something better than that. Okay, so today, don't care at all about this part. Yesterday, you got to play with that. We'll play with that later. You guys are going to make all kinds of cool shapes. I got it. Today, we're just going to look at this and these two little cylinders. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to draw a cylinder. Then you're going to draw a cylinder. Then I'm going to measure the dimensions of the light bulb. And then I'm going to give you those dimensions. You're going to write them on your little piece of paper so that you have dimensions to work for. Now, when we were doing the board and the switch, everything was being driven by one thing. How far apart are those copper plates? And how wide are those copper plates? And how wide are those little posts? So everything that you did was driven on those parameters. Today, everything that you do in this design is going to be driven on the size of this here light bulb. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a cylinder that's going to represent just this top part of this little light bulb. So see how it's flat right here? And then on the top, it's round. So we're just going to draw a cylinder just for this top part right here. We don't really care about the bulb right now because we don't really care about the bulb right now. So without further ado, I'm going to show you really quickly how to draw a cylinder. And then, no, wait, don't get a piece of paper yet. Don't get a piece of paper yet. You're going to need a piece of paper, but don't get it yet. All right. What I'd like you to do is just watch me for a second, because sometimes you guys don't know how to do design drawing. And if you watch me for just a second, I can make you better at design drawing, but you have to pay attention. So the first thing I'm going to do is it's very helpful. Ooh, that's weird with that light behind me. Sorry, let me move a little bit. Oh, it's still weird. Yeah, well, no, it's not the door. It's light over my head that's annoying. The door is fine. No, that's not bothering me at all. It's that guy right there. That thing right there.
Do you want me to clear it?
Yeah, yeah. Let's get rid of that dumb light. And then we just turn that light off. All right, so I'm gonna share, I have my dock camera set up here. I'm gonna share a couple screens. I'm going to share my dock camera. Let's see what that did for my light here. Hold on, hold on. That didn't work. Hold on. Advanced dock cam. Share. Hello? Hello. Ha ha. There it is. It worked. Okay. Yeah, that's better without that light. So what I'm gonna do is when you are trying to draw 3-dimensional designs of a shape, I really find it very helpful to have the shape in front of you, because to try to see it in your brain and understand what you actually would see is really hard to do. So I have a cylinder right here. I'm going to show you my cylinder. Here's my cylinder. Wait a minute, mister, that's not a cylinder. That's just a circle. Oh, wait a minute. What about when I tilt it? Oh, clearly it's a cylinder. So what I want to do is I want to hold my cylinder in a angle because we're going to work on three-dimensional design. And I want you to see what you can actually see here. So when I tilt it like this, our circle turns into an oval. So we see an oval right here. We see a straight line right here. We see a straight line right here. And we see the very bottom line right here. And that's all we can see in the cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my oval first. I'm going to make a nice big picture. Now, I've talked to you guys about design sketching before, but remember, when I write my name, I'm like gripped with my pen. When I design a sketch, I barely hold my pen. Like it's like falling out of my hand. So it's really important to be kind of loose and relaxed. You'll notice when I try to get more precise with my lines get worse and worse and worse and worse. So don't draw a really rigid line. Draw nice, light, simple lines. So I'm going to make an oval up here at the top of my page. Notice I'm going to go around a couple times and I'm going to try and get the best oval I can. Now, ugly, sloppy, yes, but really, I've got a good edge of my oval here and a good edge of my oval right there. So here's what we just drew. We just drew this oval right here. Now we're going to draw this line here and this line here. When I draw straight lines, I find it easiest to tilt my paper at an angle because I draw better sideways than I do straight up and down or sideways. So I'm just going to I got to come from this point right here and just make a nice straight line. Whoops, that was not a nice straight line. Neither was that, neither was that. So really ugly. I never do this in marker. I do it in pencil. You should do it in pencil. Now I got to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And this line, sorry, get closer to the camera here. This line needs to be parallel with this line. So same thing. I got my corner here. Just going to draw some little ghost lines, nice and light. Try and hit that corner best I can. Again, if I was using a pencil, I could come in, I could clean this up, but I can't clean it up because I don't have a pencil. So now we've drawn, the oval. We've drawn this side and this side. The only thing we have left is this line that connects that line to this line. And it should mirror this. So I'm going to make just a curved line underneath here. I just need to try to mirror that same curve. So it looks about the same. And now I have myself a little cylinder. And if I do this, I can make it look like sitting on the ground. A little shading, And again, if I had a pencil, I could come in here and clean it up a little bit, get rid of some of my ugly lines. But we don't really care. It is not perfect, and that's okay. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to put some dimensional lines on here. So we're going to measure across this way. We're going to call this our y-axis. We're going to measure from this side to this side. We're going to call that our x-axis. And then we can measure from here to here. And we're going to call that our z. So we got our x, our y, and our z. And I even cheated and wrote right side up instead of writing upside down. Because it's really hard to write a z upside down. You ever tried to write a z upside down? It's harder than you think. It is. All right, so here's what I want from you. I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to grab a pencil. And I want you to make a nice, big drawing of a cylinder on your page. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to measure the light bulb and I'm going to give you those dimensions. Okay? So get a piece of paper, get a pencil, draw a nice, big cylinder on your page. Label your X, your Y, and your Z. Okay? Okay, go. I'll give you about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. right, got a piece of paper? Did you draw a cylinder? Do you want more time? Hey, in my class, I taught something really important because nobody likes to talk. So I taught sign language. Some basic sign language. This means yes. So if I say, do you understand? You go, yes. And this means no. So if I say, hey, did everybody draw a cylinder? You go, yes or no.
Or you could actually talk to us.
Or, yeah, you can talk. I mean, you do have voices. I know. It's late in the day. It's been a long week. I get it.
It's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. Has been a long week. All right. So what I want to do now is I'm going to measure this here light bulb. Are you all familiar with this tool? I need a bigger screen here. Give me a bigger screen. What's that tool called, Daniel? Do you remember? No?
I don't remember.
Okay. This tool is called a caliper. This is a digital caliper. I also have a dial caliper. And the dial caliper, sorry, my dock camera sucks. The dial caliper is called a dial caliper because, here, I'll do it this way. It has a dial on it. The dial spins, as long as it's not locked. The dial spins and the numbers turn with it. It has a thumb adjustment on it. So when you want to move this, you just put your thumb on it and you slide it and you'll notice the dial moves. Now, I know everybody in this class is kind of a nerd because you guys are all the smart people. So you guys probably love this thing. Like Jennifer's like, oh my God, is it math? I want to use it. I want to use it. It's math. Oh my God, I love math. But it is kind of complicated because you have to do a little bit of math. Every time that thing turns around, it's something. And then you got to read the little numbers. And woo, nobody likes math that much, not even Jennifer. But this guy is a digital caliper. And a digital caliper, oh wow, you're backwards. I'm so confused.
Not to them. So.
To you it is. To me it is. There. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Yes, this is what I wanted. There. I'll do that. Then I can see. All right. So this is a digital caliper, and you can see it has a digital readout. Similar to the other one, it has two sets of jaws. It has one here on top, on the bottom, and it has one here on top. This little thumb screw right here locks your jaws in place. I showed you that this guy has a little thumb adjustment here that you just slide your thumb on. This little cheap guy does not. So you just put your thumb right here and you just slide it open like that. And you'll notice the number changes when you do that. The thumb screw is to lock it in place. So if I want to take a measurement here, and then I got to go over here, and then I got to go over here, I can lock my measurement in place so it doesn't move. This particular digital caliper can either do millimeters or inches. It has an on-off button, and it has, most importantly, a 0 button, because we always need to have a 0 button on any digital tool. So like, you know, when you go get on the scale, you should make sure it says 0 first, because if it says 10 pounds and you step on it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm really fat. You're not. The scale's lying to you. So this guy, you notice, is at -5 right now. So we need to hit, whoops, don't hit the on-off button. See, everything's so hard backwards. You guys have no idea. So we zero it out, and then we can measure 3 things with the digital caliper. We can measure OD, outside dimensions. So we've been talking about our prototypes 1 and 2. We had the outside dimensions, and you had inside dimensions. So if I take this side of my caliper, the big side, I can open it up, and I can go around this guy, kind of twist it a little bit, and I get 13.33 for my OD of the top of my design. I can measure the inside of this hole with this side of the caliper, close it and 0 it. And then I just stick it inside there and I open up, and the jaws open opposite of each other, spin it around a little bit, and I get 11.12. Bam, 11.12. Then they can do one more thing. At the bottom is a little probe that pops out when you slide it down, and we can actually measure depth with that. So if I want to know how deep this guy is, I just stick him on top, slide it all the way down, and I get 53.5. Cool. So digital caliper. Now, try to measure that with a ruler, but try measuring this and getting it exactly right in between those centimeters is going to be really hard to do. So when we're doing precision, we should always use a caliper. Anytime you're measuring something round, you should use a caliper because you cannot measure accurately with a flat ruler on a round object. So we're going to measure our X, Y, and Z. Now, since you're the smartest group that I've worked with all day long, you should be able to answer this quiz question really quickly. When I measure my X and my Y, what should I notice?
They're like,
I got to measure my X and my Y. What am I going to notice? Oh my God.
what? Wait,
Okay, hold on.
you're asking.
Let me explain again. Let me explain again. Do you see the X and the Y on my drawing? What are you going to notice about the X and Y number that you get?
Remember, we're talking about a cylinder now.
Or in just the case of the X and Y, we're actually talking
A
about a circle. So if I measure X and I measure Y, what am I going to notice about my number?
It's the same.
It's gonna be half the length.
Oh God, you guys are killing me. If I measure across here, I'm going to get a number, right? Let's say it's
Mhm.
5. I measured across here, it's 5. If I measure across here, what's it going to be?
5.
X and Y should be the same number, right? X and Y are the same number because I'm measuring a circle. So your X and Y of a circle are always the same number because it's round. Okay, so, whew, been a long day, huh? Okay, we're just going to chalk it up to being a long day. And I know I still think you're the smartest people I've known all day. Maybe. All right, so I'm going to measure my X and Y. I only need to take one measurement. I'm not going to use a dial caliper because I'm not smart enough to do the math. So I'm going to use my digital caliper. I'm going to measure around just the top part of this. So just this kind of round part up here on top. Bam, right there. And I get 9.17. So your X and your Y would be 9.17. So Y equals 9.17 mm. Your X equals 9. That's a really terrible 9.17 mm. I'm writing like a 3-year-old because I'm writing sideways. Oh, you can't see it. Here, hold on. Let me share my screen. I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Uppity group. All right. So my X and my Y are both 9.17, and it does not look like a 7 or a 9 because I was writing sideways and it looks like I'm a little kid trying to write, but I'm not. I'm a big kid. All right, so we got our X and our Y. Now we just need to figure out our Z, and our Z is just going to be this top part right here. So we measure from where the light bulb goes in to where the flat spot starts, and I get 10.12. 10.12. So my Z equals 10.12 mm. Now remember, Jennifer and Daniel already know this about me, but the mm is really important. Your math teacher cares what number you wrote down. I don't really care what number you wrote down because if you screwed up your measurements in your design, that's going to cost you anyway. I don't care. But what I do care about is the mm, because if you write 10.12, it could be 10.12 miles, 10.12 feet, 10.12 pounds, 10.12 elephant butt hairs. We have no idea what 10.2 represents. So make sure that you put the mm there so I know it's millimeters because that's important. All right. You with me so far? Yeah? Okay. Do you need a break? No? That's what I like about you. Time for drawing number 2. Now, I'm going to kind of show you my idea. And then you are going to do some engineering. So as I started off, where'd my bulb go? When I started off, I told you this part is going to be really easy. Sorry. Whoop. This part's going to be really easy. I'm not worried about that today at all. Don't care. Don't need it. Don't want to see it. This part is where our engineering skill is going to have to come in, because we're going to have to design something that's going to work with this light bulb. My goal here is this. I want a ring that goes around this that fits snugly inside of this, so it'll hold it into place. So I'm going to kind of draw you a rough sketch of what that should basically look like. And then you're going to go to Tinkercad and you're going to try to design that part. Okay. So again, I'm just going to draw it on here. You can just watch me for a second. I'm going to do, you actually have two parts to build today. You have this part right here, and then you have the part that's going to go inside of it. So I'm going to draw that top part first. I'm just going to draw a cylinder again. Getting better at these cylinders. So here is that part right there. So if I had a bulb, it would go, there's my bulb. So this is just the bottom of my bulb. Wait, no, yep, there we go. So just like that, all I'm doing is this part right here. All right, the next part, the insert part, I'm gonna draw down here as well. And just draw another oval. This is not to scale. Draw my sides on here. And now this oval is going to hold my light. So I'm gonna make another circle in the center there, because that's where my light bulb's gonna go. And if we had a light bulb in here, it would be sticking out right here. And it comes down like this, and it's got a little dome on it, and it's got a little filament in here. Reminds me of a really funny joke. Did I ever tell you guys a joke about the filament? I'll tell you some other time. It's a really good one. It's one of my favorites. Did I tell you the joke about the dinosaurs? Maybe you guys need a joke. Time for a joke? What do you mean, Daniel? Don't shake your freaking head at me. No, we don't need a joke. Yes, you do. You need to laugh, son. So you're going to laugh right now, I promise. You ready? 2 dinosaur jokes in a row. Dinosaur joke number 1. Do you know why you can't tell if a pterodactyl went to the bathroom? It's because the P is silent. You get it? Pterodactyl spelled with the P. I don't know if you knew that. But the P is silent, so you don't know that he went to the bathroom. Get it? Okay, good. Hold on. I've been told the second one's even better. And it was told to me by a little kid today. Are you ready? What do you call it when a dinosaur gets into a car accident? T-Rex.
Daniel, I know you don't want to smile, but you're going to.
Come on, Daniel. That was funny, man. All right. Back to my drawing. If I can't make you laugh, I'll draw. All right. So I've got I'm going to call this part 1. I'm going to call this part 2. Watch this. I'm going to draw a 2 upside down. Oops, I didn't mean to make my 2 right there. That's part 2, but I didn't really mean to make it right there. And it kind of looks like an upside down 5, but that's okay. So I got my light in here, but what we want to do is we're going to cut a little notch here. So we're going to take this here. Oh, sorry, I got to finish my cylinder. What we're going to do is this inner ring, we're going to cut a little notch in here. Bam. That's going to allow us to get around this little guy right here. So we have this little clip right here. And that little clip, I'm going to give you the dimensions in just a second. But that notch is going to allow us to get around that. And it's going to allow for a little bit of flex so that when we put it in there, it can be kind of tight. It'll flex and then it'll hold it into place, right? Right. That's the plan anyway. So if I try to draw a notch in here to the best of my ability, which is not very good. And I'm going to kind of shade these so you can see that this is cut out. And I screwed up our 2. So I'll write the 2 right here, and I'll do it even better this time. That's a good looking upside down 2 right there, baby. I got some mad skills today. I can draw, I can write upside down. I'm funny. Huh? And I got good hair. Yeah. All right. So we're going to cut this little notch out right here. And the purpose of that is then when we go to put your light in here, this should be able to just flex just ever so slightly so that we can slide part 2 up into part 1. Got it? Yeah. Questions for me? Okay. It is 2:30. I don't know what else Lester wants you to do, but let me show you. Sorry, let me jump into Tinkercad real quick. Oh, I can't because this isn't my computer. I can't do that. So it's going to kind of show you in Tinkercad. Yeah, we can't really do it. It's all right. You guys are smart. You know what I mean, right? Right? Yes, we are. Or no, we're not. Yes. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, good. So you could jump into Tinkercad and start designing that. I will tell you straight up, this sounds kind of easy, but it's not. And everything that you do right now should be driven on those dimensions that you get back here. Those dimensions you just wrote down for this bulb is going to drive what you do here. So this hole right here that you make in this part needs to be those dimensions that you just wrote down. And then you got to figure, okay, how wide do I want to make this wall right here? Because this hole's got to be those XY dimensions. We don't really care about the Z so much, but this should be your Z. So there's your Z. Here's your X and Y, Y and X. And I know I'm upside down now, just to make everything really complicated. So this should be your Z axis. Your hole in the middle should be your X and your Y. And then you got to figure out how thick do you want to make this wall. And then you got to make this cylinder just big enough that this cylinder will slide inside of it. So big time attention to tolerances. And we've talked to you guys about tolerances. I think you made a pen holder with Lester earlier. But when we made the pen holder, what we did is we measured this pen and it was 17. And then you took a block and you cut a hole in the block to put the pen in. Well, if you make that hole 17 and this is 17, pen ain't gonna go in there. They're the same size. So you made it like 18. You gave yourself a millimeter worth of tolerance inside of there to move this part. These tolerances are gonna have to be really, really, really small so that it's tight in there, but not so tight you can't get it in, but not so loose that if you turn it upside down, it falls. This is prototyping. So all I care about is just that bottom part. I do not want your bulb. Do not send it attached to anything else. I just want 2 cylinders, 1 cylinder and another cylinder that slides inside of it with the hole inside of it. Okay? Now, good news, great news. I got to look at the right camera. I always do that and then staring at one camera and talking to another. I'm gonna stop sharing. The good news is next week is Thanksgiving. Yay! So we get a little break. What we would like to do is have you guys get these designs done for us between now and Thanksgiving, like preferably today. And then over break, we will come in here and we will print all these prototypes. And then when you guys come back on Monday after break, we can put the prototype right here under the camera and I can be like, oh yeah, look what a good job you did, Daniel. You're so smart. You're so smart. At least I got a smile out of him. Just got to call him smart and he smiles. Tell him funny jokes and he doesn't smile, but tell him he's smart, a little smile. Hold on, my phone's ringing. Anybody know anybody from Franklin, Louisiana? No? No? Me neither. I don't think I'm going to answer that one. Yeah, that's all I had.
Do you want to stop recording now?
Sure. Let me stop recording now. Stop recording, recording.